All right, we are live on YouTube, and I'm just waiting on the video to connect on my other screen over here so that I can grab that link and put it inside of our free business mastermind group so that our members can join us here easily and conveniently on the YouTube live this morning. It looks like that the link is ready, so let me grab it. Oh, it's repeating me. Okay, let me grab this link. Okay, let me put it inside. Oh Lord, the group is not ready in the group. Look, I blame Shawana Kennedy Media because I would have been ready. Look at that. But somebody taught me to death and I didn't even get my little thing going. So hold on one second, y'all. I forgot to pre-prepare this post because of who? Shawana Kennedy Media. All right, there we go. Now it's ready. All right. Now it's posted. You got your surprise face off. All right. Now let me go back to the YouTube live so I can make sure I can see the live chat and we will be ready to get started. So those of you that are watching us live, feel free to talk back in the chat. All right. When was the last time you upgraded your service? Does what your offer is look the same as what everybody else's offer is? Okay, today we're answering the question, how can I stay in front of trends and innovation to deliver the best service that stands out in the market? So we're talking about client first clarity for relentless innovation that pays. From this week's blog, Client First Clarity, turn confusion into consistent cash flow. If you want to follow along, you can go to shaycannon.com/client. That's shaycannon.com // client, because that is what we're talking about this week. Again, we only have one more. We have a week and a half of the morning show left, but only one full week of us doing a blog post and talking about it because that last week is going to be a little special. And you'll get details about that a little later, okay? But one of the gaps that I definitely wanted to fill before we end the morning show, as you know it, is you understanding the importance of how deeply you need to know your client. And not only that, how we can be like Jeff Bezos and Amazon and be client obsessed, but I'm calling it client first clarity. Okay. You need to know your client so well that you can make all the decisions based on what you know about your client. You can stop asking people that are not your ideal client. You can stop asking them about what price, what do they think about this offer, and all the things they have to do with your client, but you're asking other people. All right. Now, yesterday, what we talked about was long term thinking based on your client first clarity. Now, I did a deep dive on how you can create your client avatar profile. It should have about 20 to 30 characteristics in that thing. Even if you were with us yesterday, I gave you a document on creating that profile. I went through it. I gave you an example of one of my ideal clients for one of my offers. And so that is hugely important. But I didn't stop there. I also talked about all the different ways you can get to know them and use them for long term planning in your business. So if you need any of that, in addition to a chat GPT prompt, go back to yesterday's replay. That was part one. Part two is today. And what we're talking about is relentless innovation. Okay. Things should not stay the same. You should not look like everybody else. Your business this year shouldn't look like last year. The one when you started it, things should change. You should be innovative. Okay. So let's talk about it. Relentless innovation in a client first clarity business isn't about chasing every new idea. It's about never becoming complacent with how well you serve your clients. It's a mindset that treats progress as a responsibility, not an option. When you're truly driven by your client's experience, you start viewing problems as invitations to evolve. That constant curiosity, the willingness to reimagine, to redefine, to refine, and even fail forward, that creates a business that stays relevant and respected. Clients feel Clients feel it when you're committed to what is going on over here. When you're committed to improving their experience, it builds confidence, it builds trust and loyalty that directly translates into sustained revenue growth. Innovation done through the lens of clarity. So, not just doing new stuff for the sake of doing new stuff, but doing new stuff that you know your client well enough to know they will appreciate it and value it. Okay. So, what that does is it does not create chaos. It brings in an evolution that keeps your business profitable and your clients deeply connected. Okay. So, again, we're not just doing anything just because it's new, but we can look at things that are new and decide through the clarity we have about our clients, would that be helpful to them? All right. So, that's the blog. But here on the morning show, I give you more. We go beyond the blog. So, I do have some show notes with some strategies for you. But I also have at the top of the strategies 2 past blog posts for you to consider for today's innovation. One is the one we did on AI tools. Now, a lot of them can be used inside your business, and some of them can be used externally working with the clients, right? So some might be for your operations and some working for your clients, but either way, they could benefit the client with some innovation. So we talked about AI tools, and that blog post is there. The blog post we did specifically on Chat GPT is also there linked, so you can go back to that to see if you have any new ideas on innovation that you can include with your service. All right. Now let's jump into it. Top 10 strategies for clarity first. I'm sorry, for client first clarity for relentless innovation that pays. Number one, build innovation around complaints, not compliments. Okay. So compliments confirm comfort zones where everything is already feeling good, but complaints reveal innovation opportunities. Okay. So every frustration is a window into unmet expectations that can be monetized or that can help you to raise prices, in other words, or to help you to have client satisfaction. So, an example of that could be a community manager turning feedback about confusing data reports into a simplified visual dashboard that clients now rave about and renew their service for. Okay, so that's an example. That was build innovation around complaints. Number two, innovate through emotional simplicity. Okay, emotional simplicity. So clients don't buy simplicity of process, they buy simplicity of emotion. When your systems calm their nerves, emotional regulation becomes your best marketing tool. Now, let me give you another example of that, okay? In real life, what's going on right now in the battle of the sexes, right, is weaponized incompetence. How women have to carry so much of the emotional load and the mental load of being with a companion that it almost makes the relationship not worth it because they're working, they're splitting meals 50-50, $200 dates. Now, let me just stay focused, okay? But it is traditionally the woman's job to like do all the things, and so her emotional load, her mental load is usually heavier than the man in the relationship. I want you to think about that when it comes to your business. What is it about your client going through your service that may add to their mental load, that may add to their emotional load, and what can we put in place to reduce it? Okay, let me give you an example. um, a consultant redesigns her client's onboarding with a lot of support to reduce stress for the client to get their assets in and get started on the work they invested in. And they start to feel supported from the start. Okay. A lot of us that provide services, there are two things that usually happen at the top of our service when we're onboarding. One is we have to do an assessment, right? But two, they usually have to give us some kind of assets, okay, either to assess and or to get started on our work, right? And that is usually a process right there that we get stalled at the beginning of our service because we have clients that are busy. It takes them a long time to get us that stuff, and so we can't even get started till we get it, right? So how can we help them through that? Is that going to look like an For some of y'all, it's stuff that they have to create. Like if you're in a business where you deal with copy or written things and they have to actually create that, maybe you can create a custom chat GPT to help them to work out what it needs to look like that they need to submit to you. Okay, maybe it's a matter of you using video conferencing to interview them to get all of the information you need rather than have them to fill out a questionnaire. But you need to be innovative about how you're going to take that mental load, that emotional load off of them from the very beginning. All right, so that was an example of innovate through emotional simplicity. Number 3, make anticipation a habit. So innovation is proactive clarity. Okay, clients rarely know what they need until they feel the pain. The moment you can predict client confusion before it happens, you've moved from reactive service into mastery. Okay, so an example of that could be a project manager updates her FAQs, frequently asked questions, monthly based on patterns from client check-ins, and prevents issues instead of having to solve them once they've happened. Okay, so again, you guys cannot be afraid to elicit feedback. I would say I get excited when I get negative feedback because it gives me an opportunity to do something new to solve that. Okay, so you need to ask for the feedback. Don't be afraid, but look at that feedback as an opportunity to create something. But also look at some of the feedback as, okay, they said this, but I bet it's this and this and this too, right? So now you're anticipating based on the information you're getting. Sometimes you need to sit down and think about what your processes are and ask yourself, is it still as simple as you think it is? Because if it's not, then anticipate where somebody might get hung up in the process. All right. So that was make anticipation a habit. Number 4, introduce the client pause test. I like this one. This makes you look at stuff. This is another way to kind of well, it's not really, it's still kind of reactive and not proactive, but it gives you an opportunity before clients realize to give you the complaint that there is going to be a complaint. Okay, so let me talk about it. Introduce the client pause test. Monitor every movement a client stops mid process or mid email chain to ask, you know, what what can I do next? What do am I supposed to do next? Right. So if they're asking questions, especially if you told them what's happening next and they keep asking questions, more than one person, right? More than one client going through your process, that's a point of pause. That's a point of broken momentum. So we can take that point and now let's innovate around it so that it is no longer the bottleneck in your process, okay? Because those pauses are profit killers. Innovate your process until there are no pauses left. So let me give you an example. You notice the clients often pause after receiving their first invoice. So you embed a short video walkthrough that triple your payment turnaround speed, right? So it's not just they get the link, right? They can get a link within that email that's giving them the link to pay. There's a video from you. Maybe that video could be all about what's going to happen next, right? Hey, we're at this part. We've done this much for you, but I'm excited about what we're about to do next. And then they hurry up and click that button because they're excited about what happens next. Okay, that's innovative. So that was introduced to client pause test. Number 5, reduce guesswork with guidance. Okay, so clients crave certainty. They crave certainty. So you can build innovation around giving them that certainty. So most innovative businesses are those that remove the needs for clients to think about logistics, right? Why do they have to keep thinking about the process? A lot of us, when we do services, we will tell them the whole process at the beginning. You know, it's 6 phases, and we're going to do this, and this. And the client was like, oh, wow, great. Invoice paid. But as they go along, they shouldn't still have to think about, do I remember all these phases? Where am I in the phases and all of that kind of stuff? You should create some type of innovation around that so they're not always thinking about the logistics. They can just go somewhere and see it. So let's see. Let's see, where is it? The most innovative business. Okay, we talked about that. So build systems that make the entire process self-evident or clear to the client. Okay. An example could be embed a visual of the entire process and add progress trackers so that clients always have the big picture view. Okay, just because you told them once does not mean they retained it. And guess what? If they keep asking you, you should be putting something in place where they just know. Okay, they have somewhere to go and reference. Number 6. So that was replace guesswork with guidance. Let's go to number 6. Innovate for ease. All right. I'm one of them people. I'm a convenience person. If you tell me something that's going to make it easy on me, that's going to make me happy. Okay. So true client obsession means simplifying until the client feels power, not pressure. Okay. They may have to do it, but how easy can you make it for them to do it? So what we're going to do is we're going to treat what would make this easier for my clients as one of the most valuable KPIs, key performance indicators in our business. So an example that could be a coach removes fancy automation that confuses the clients and replaces it with a one-click check-in, which doubles engagement and follow-up revenue. All right. So technology is great. But the best technology is technology that's going to be used, okay? Because if people are not using it, that it may be innovative, but it's not valued and it's not helpful, okay? So it ain't the good kind of innovation. So that was innovate for ease. Number 7, design your service like software, okay? Run your business as if every client experience is version controlled. Treat each project or each iteration of your program as a version. Update it, okay? And release new, improved clarity, usability, delights, features, wow factors, whatever, okay? Example, a consultant updates her signature offer periodically and relaunches to past clients first, framing it as the upgraded version of their original transformation. Now, we just did that, right? Last year we had Foo Fighters. This year we have our new version, Foo Fighters 2.0. And if you missed it, you missed it. I don't know what to tell you because it was great. Okay. But don't look at your services. That's why I started off by asking you, when was the last time you upgraded your service? Okay. Because again, usually when we start something, we have all these things we want to put in it. But like I always tell you, the first iteration of your service should be helping them get from A to B. Plain, easy, simple. Anything other than that should be bonuses or saved for the next version. You don't have to put everything in the kitchen sink and your grandma and them into the first version. You can allow yourself to be like an iPhone and just change the color and keep the same ragged ass camera. Child, the iPhone. All right. So that was design your service like software. Number 8, integrate technology for personalized precision. That is, use tech not to automate away like a human experience, but to scale the personalization. All right. So create innovation that delivers clarity faster and tracks progress smarter. We're not just trying to eliminate humans doing things, right? Because that's not often the best innovation, just to replace the human or the thing the human would do. We want it to be faster or better than the human would have done. Otherwise, like, what are you doing, right? So an example, social media strategist builds a client portal that integrates progress data, okay, content suggestions, and messaging AI, all tailored to that specific client's behavior and goals. That's personalization. All right. So they're not just saying, oh, you don't have to just tell me what you think you want your content to be about this week. I want you to also think about what's going to make it easier, what's going to make it track, and what's going to make the clarity of it and the strategy of it easier. Okay. So that was integrate technology for personalized precision. Let's go to number 9. Turn evolution into expectation. Okay. Train your clients to expect innovation from you. Position your business as the one that reinvents itself on behalf of the client's growth or on behalf of the client's benefit. Okay. That consistency of elevation breeds long term retention. A lot of you like me as a business coach because y'all know as soon as I hear something, and as soon as I get a grasp on it enough to be able to explain it to you, what we doing? We convening around and we going to talk about it for a week, right? We've done that with AI. We've done that with AEO. We've done that with ChatGPT. As just some of the things that soon as I hear about it, I get a grasp of it. I understand what it is. I understand how we can apply it to grow our businesses. We're talking about it. I don't wait until I become an expert, and I don't tell you that I'm an expert. I say, hey, this is everything that I found out. This is how I'm thinking about using it. Let's talk about it. Let's see how you can use it too. Let's grow with it together, right? So turn evolution into expectation. Train your clients to expect innovation from you. Position your business as one that reinvents itself on behalf of the client's growth, and that consistency of evolution builds long-term retention. But let me give you another example. Audit the competition for what is missing from their offers, and not only will you include it in your offer, but we're going to do it in a unique and innovative way. Okay. And we can go back to the example that I gave you about me. Usually by the time I'm talking to you guys about stuff, other people aren't coaching on the subject yet. They're simply over there trying to perfect it and then claim they're an expert in it before they start talking about it. As soon as I hear about it, I do my research. Y'all know I'm a great researcher, right? And then I say, okay, well, how can we use this? And we're talking about it. So be known for being the innovator, okay? Number 10, build a client futurist role in your business, okay? So create a priority time slot that will be responsible for predicting where your client's industries, pain points, and desires are headed. I don't learn about AI, ChatGPT, AEO, and all that stuff because it just comes to me out of the air. I'm constantly researching and looking for trends and looking for things that could be different and could help us to grow our business. So you need a time slot for that type of research and that type of awareness. All right. So this focus ensures your business innovates before demand arises. An example, a marketing consultant regularly researches client audience shifts and trends, sharing forecasts that help her clients pivot before the competitors do. All right. Now, we have you a great prompt today. It's similar to the one for yesterday, but this is catered for innovation. So you're going to enter your niche clarity statement. You're going to enter your niche ideal client description. You're going to put in your offer description, and you're going to say, use this information to recommend at least 3 strategies each for how I can infuse innovation that fuels my obsession with my clients' needs and wants for the transformation that my service provides, keeping my brand on the cutting edge of evolution in my niche, resulting in abundant revenue with the following. And you're going to put in all 10 of the strategies we're talking about. It should pop out 3 suggestions for each strategy. Okay. So we're going to start with Shawana Kennedy Media with the questions of the day. There are only 2 today. So let me grab those questions, drop them in the studio chat. Okay, let me come over here and drop them in the YouTube chat. YouTube been quiet this week. Look, y'all gonna miss us when we go. Let me stop. Okay, so let me go back. So the questions of the day are, what are you currently doing that could qualify as innovative for your niche? And which of the 10 strategies do you think is going to help you to evolve your service to be more innovative? We're going to start with Shawana Kennedy after I give you this recap of the 10 strategies, okay? Number 1 was build innovation around complaints. Number 2, innovate through emotional simplicity. And that's what we talked about, emotional loads. Make it easier on the emotions. Number 3, make anticipation a habit. And all that is getting in front of things that could be a problem for your client. Number 4, introduce the client pause test. Look at your process and see where the average client tends to pause or not get through. Where does your process bottleneck for your clients? And let's create some innovation around that. Number 5, replace guesswork with guidance. Do some built-in guidance in places where you understand that they forgot what you said about stuff, especially your full process. Okay, so give them some type of reference, some kind of guidance that they can refer back to instead of having to ask you over and over again what the process is. Number 6, innovate for ease. Okay, yeah, they got to do some stuff to help you, to help them, but can you make it easy on them? Number 7, design your service like software. Don't be afraid to having different versions of your service and making it better and re-releasing it as better. And this is 2.0, this is 3.0, this is 5.0, or iPhone 3 million. Number 8, integrate technology for personalized precision. If you can build in some innovation that helps people get more personalized results along the way instead of them having to think about it or go find out about it or do some trial and error, that is going to be helpful. Number 9, turn evolution into expectation. You want to be seen as the one in the marketplace that's always going to bring the new that help them out to make the service better. Number 10, build a client futurist role in your business. You want to make time. If you don't have a team member that can become that role, then that means you need to set aside time that you do it so that you can go out there and find the opportunities for innovation that you can bring it back to your business and your service. All right. So those were the 10. And yeah, today the iPhone hate was big, but that's okay. Let's go to Shawana Kennedy. First, what are you currently doing that can qualify as innovative for your niche? And second, which one of the strategies do you think is going to best help you to evolve your service to be more innovative?
I don't understand how, first of all, I could be first, but then have to, I mean, be the first one in, but have to be in the answer first. I just got to say that for the record. Okay. Amen. Amen.
I
Amen.
mean, I could tell you that really it wasn't you that was here first. It was my brother LeBron, and then you came in. He
Oh,
can't
oh,
save your
oh,
space.
oh, 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 oh. Okay. 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 For the sake of the question,
Mhm.
one of the things that we actually do is by human visibility for our clients by building their courage. I'll say their courage, their confidence, and we do that through the different frameworks of course, pushing them out there to come from behind the scenes to be seen, so they could be seen, heard, known, and paid for their brilliance. And for still some of our shy folks, one of the things that we do is to even offer the faceless video options in some of our services. I
Mhm.
like a couple of the things that you said that actually would fit. Number 5, I believe it was the guesswork for guidance, of course,
Yeah.
helping them so they don't have to guess because sometimes they don't know what they need. You say that often. They don't know what they need.
They truly don't.
8, building in the building the innovation. I believe it was number 8, and then number 9, we bring the new. So with some of my folks, because they're too busy, so they're not in it to know what is happening and what is relevant. So
Mhm.
bringing the new to the business. And then I believe it was number 2, the emotional simplicity. Uh, Really, that's kind of even what helps them because it touches the emotion, but it needs to be simple enough for them to get it
Mhm.
and not have to be concerned. So
Exactly.
yeah, a lot of the things that you said out of the 10, I know like number 2, 5, 8, and 9 that stuck in my head. And then also the version of control. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of them I believe could apply to me and what I do.
Ooh, I love that. And just to clarify, you said number 8 was innovation. Number 8 is personalized precision innovation. So yeah, cool
Yes,
beans.
yes, yes. Make it
All right,
personal.
let's go to Dr. Latoya. Dr. Latoya, what are you currently doing that could qualify as innovative for your niche? First of all, your niche itself is innovative. So if you ain't doing nothing else innovative, I totally understand because the whole niche is innovative. But which of the strategies out of the 10 will help you to evolve the service that you provide to be more innovative?
Yeah, I think I'm constantly doing the revision, like the upgraded, because the things kind of stay consistent. The programs themselves are pretty much the same. I'm constantly updating or revamping, which
Mhm.
allows me to get the same people to do the same programs multiple times.
Love that.
Um, but then from what you said, I think it was number 1. Was that clarity? No, I'm making that word up. What was number
Let's
1?
see. Number 1 was build innovation around complaints. I mean, yeah.
Complaints. Yes, yes. I turned that into yes. And then the other one was kind of foreseeing or like building the video, like where there's typically a bottleneck to kind of
Yeah.
foresee what the thing is to prevent them from having to ask me so many questions. So I think those are the two that I like.
Cool. I love that. I love that. All right. Let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, what are you currently doing that could qualify as innovative for your niche? And which one of the 10 strategies do you feel will best help you to evolve your service to be more innovative?
Good morning. I think what I'm doing is number two, innovate around emotional load because of their busy schedules and mine. And I think that's where you said the Loom video came in. So that's what I put. Um, and then let's see. Yeah. And then what I am looking at doing is maybe number 10, client futurism, maybe going through like new tests that would help us to get them certain results about their health um, and maybe quicker than the tests that we have now and going through what they are and if that could be a fit for them and then it was the client pause test, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's number 4.
Yep. It was. Like anywhere you have a bottleneck, that's an opportunity for you to put some innovation. Cool beans. Thank you for that, Dr. LaFera. Kimberly, I think that you can use the chat. So let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, what are you currently doing that could be qualified as innovative for your niche? And you're great at stuff like that. Also, which one of the 10 strategies we talked about today do you think will best help you to evolve your service to be more innovative?
I do a lot of these already. For instance, uh, I have a system of when I share information, what
Mm-hmm.
is it I'm willing to share? What is it that I keep for, my own personal stuff? And then what do I hold on to innovate when it's time to go to 2.0, 3.0, 4.0? And so that has helped me greatly. I know exactly what I need to say or do because, people will call you and they have questions and so on and so forth. And I've just discovered that, first of all, without a certain level of knowledge base,
Mm-hmm.
anytime somebody asks a question, if they don't have that knowledge base, it only spawns more questions and you go down a rabbit hole. What I do think um, that will help me the most is reducing guesswork with guidance. I tend to forget that it's all in my head
Mm-hmm.
and it's not in theirs. And that can be very frustrating for the client. One of the things I did employ, was it last year, year before last, and that was building innovation around complaints. That is invaluable. And if one person mentions it, I look to see, or I make quiz, as the old people say, to see if anybody else has that. Because sometimes people have it, they just don't want to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's moi.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Thank you for that. Let's go to Heather. Heather over there in book editing and book author land. What are you currently doing that could be qualified as innovative for your niche? And which of the 10 strategies do you think will best help you to evolve your service to be more innovative?
So I think right now is that I'm reducing guesswork with guidance. Just because people are so, what do I do first? How do I do, it's all a guesswork thing. Um, and I'm also, because I was very, I think, against AI is putting it lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, yes, let's use AI to be more efficient, more creative, and make ourselves work smarter, not harder. And so I'm using that too, because people I think still are very confused about how to use it properly
Yeah.
um, and appropriately.
Have you delved into creating your own custom GPTs yet, or at least some custom prompts?
Yes, sort of. Sort of,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
That's on the
Okay.
list. Yes. So in the book, there are prompts for people to follow. So in the book, every chapter has a prompt to help entrepreneurs tell their story. So,
Yes.
or stories rather. Um, and I do admit in the book that I was super not for AI. So I do the mea culpa there. But I also think that innovating through emotional simplicity, because people do get really like caught up in their feelings about writing. And if you can find ways to make that easier, smoother, not so lonely, all those things, a lot of that can be like a people to people thing, but it also can mean putting technology to work for you in smart ways.
Love it. I'm loving it. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, what are you currently doing that could qualify as innovative for your niche? And hell, you created a network. That might be enough. But the next question is which strategy out of the 10 we talked about today do you think will best help you to evolve your service and make it even more innovative?
So let's start with the which strategy. I think designing the service like software. I really like that one. And then to go back to what I'm currently doing, yeah, you said it definitely. But I think that also is what's going to help things continue because I think like a futurist. I have to be ahead of what's coming. I've been preaching the gospel of what is coming down in the media industry for years, but I'm chopped liver, so nobody listens to me. But yeah, so I like those two.
Have you thought about, so one of the pain points I've heard about you having a network, have you thought about creating a custom GPT that will help them to name their episode and to describe their episode?
No, I haven't thought about that.
Because that's one of the pauses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be great. If you need help, reach out.
Okay.
All right. So all of this being customer client obsessed, right? So all we're doing this week is reiterating to you, number one, first of all, if you're obsessed with them, you know all the things about them. Okay. Yesterday, I talked about it as like a stalker. A stalker just doesn't know just topical things about the person they're stalking. They get in there. That's why they call them stalkers, because they follow you around to pick up everything about you. They know your schedule. They know what you like to eat. They know what's in your trash. All the things. Okay. You need to stalk your ideal client and know all of these things about them so that you can then start to create a business, a brand, an offer that really is catered, like super catered for them. And so when they put it up against anybody else's offer, nobody else's offer makes sense because yours is the one that they feel like knows exactly what they need, knows exactly who they are. Okay. So yesterday we talked about doing long-term thinking when it comes to that clarity you get from that stalking of your client. And then today we talked about relentless innovation around that clarity once you get it. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about efficiency and speed using that clarity. So, do you have any questions so far in why being customer obsessed to get this client first clarity is important to your business? Do you have any questions about the long term thinking we talked about yesterday or any of the relentless innovation we talked about today? Any questions, any aha moments, or any what is it? Value adds? All right. Cool beans. Y'all know y'all be saying I be trying to count to five or something in my head and play the Jeopardy music. Cause y'all say I go from asking the question to being like, all right, bye. But okay, so let's talk about what's happening this week. Tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, it's Thursday. I'm sorry. In my mind, today is Wednesday because I've already been doing Wednesday stuff. But today is Tuesday. But on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time is movie club night. I'm still trying to pick a movie for you. Don't worry about it. You'll have it in time to watch it. What you're going to do is watch the movie first, then come at 7 p.m. with all the notes you took of the business nuggets that could grow businesses in general. And we're going to discuss it at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. I also gave you some save the dates because again, we got about a week and a half left of this morning show after this week. And so on the last week, that is the week of Veterans Day. We're going to be out that Monday and Tuesday for the holiday. Then we're going to come back in on November the 12th, that Wednesday, November the 13th, that Thursday. And this is what I want you to do. Save the date because those days we're going to do that one thing live coaching where we talk about the one thing that's keeping you from your first six figures. Okay. But on the 13th, that Thursday, which is the very last show, after we do the live coaching, we're also going to do a special farewell to the morning show on the 13th. Okay. Also, save the date. November the 15th is our winter boot camp intensive. Okay. It's all about 2026, and it's going to be about your big fat money year planning. We're going to plan the year, we're going to plan the quarters, the months, the weeks, and the days. You're going to have such an extensive plan to take with you into 2026. There's no way you can fail because you at least have the bones to put meat on all throughout the year. All right. And that link should be available to you guys on next week. All right. Well, this has been her first six figures morning show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. If you want to know about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus get links to resources like how to join the free business mastermind group, or how to get the show notes with all of those strategies that we talk about, all the links to the value adds. You need to get those for today and recent past shows. Go to the description below and it'll tell you how to do that. If you have not already, give us a thumbs up and like the episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because there's going to be value from this channel. Even when the morning show in its present format goes away, we're still going to be doing things on this channel to help you to grow your business and get to your first six figures. So subscribe. Also, today's episode is just one video in a 4 video series. So make sure you check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3,